It's Monday, October 7th, 2019, and I have tried to take out my Intex Explorer inflatable kayak for the first time ever. Just got it about a week ago, and one of the reasons why I bought it was because the water level in this lake, which is Lake Wylie, South Carolina. I'm on the South Carolina side right now, but it also extends into North Carolina. And while I live on the North Carolina side, the water level has dropped so much in this lake that the cove that I keep my regular kayak, which is a Predator MX fishing kayak, the lake where I keep it at the cove is too shallow to even get in the water anymore. So what I've done is I decided, well, you know, I've seen good YouTube videos on this kayak, and a lot of people and most people like it. I haven't heard really much in the way of things that people don't like. But so I decided, all right, for $80, I'll take a chance. I'll buy one. At least this way I can get on the water until the water comes up in my cove. So I took it out for the first time today. It's a Monday, which I did that on purpose because I don't want to be out here on the weekend. I'm at a boat ramp, and I was afraid that the amount of boat traffic and other things here would be a problem. So what I did was inflated it right here at the boat ramp, which took me about 15 minutes, no problem. Put it in the water and took it out. A couple of observations. First of all, I think I need to put more air in it, certainly on the bottom of it, than I did, because it was kind of almost felt like it wanted to fold up on me while I'm out there. Not really, but just it felt kind of loose. So I put more air, brought it back in, got the pump, put more air into the floor, which is kind of like a big inflatable raft, and then put it in the sides. I also think I put maybe too much in the sides because they're bulging out a little bit. So as soon as I'm done with this video and take it in, I'm going to let the air out, and then I won't blow it up that much. So then I took it out again. I had to rearrange the seat, and I took it out a little bit, not too far from shore, just to test it out to see how it was. And it did okay. It's a little hard to get used to. One observation I would make is if you have back issues, this might not be your kayak. It's difficult for me to sit up straight, unsupported, and this doesn't really give you much support. Figure out how to position your legs and so on, and then it's okay. I also, if you notice, I'm not using the paddle that came with the kayak. They provide two paddles, which are okay, but I have my own paddle, which I use with my MX. So I brought that out, figuring that would give me a little more length and a little more control. The boat goes okay, but it's has, you know, a few issues. That's about it. It's hard to get into and get out of for somebody it doesn't have strong legs. Okay, walking around the boat, you'll notice that it looks pretty good, and it handles okay for somebody. As long as you can sit up straight without much back support, this is probably not a bad boat to have. I installed the skeg, and as I suspected, see it, one of the issues with skeg is that it kind of rubs on the bottom. So I'm wondering how long it's going to be before that kind of breaks off eventually. This is a concrete boat ramp, so when I first put it in, I could hear it scraping, and when I came back in, I could hear it scraping as well. It handles relatively well. It doesn't track particularly well. That's one of the reasons why the skeg is in there. But I would say overall, probably a good purchase. I think I just have to get more used to it. I think I'll be able to take other people out in it, which I think the boat ramp where I put the kayak in. And in the distance, you might be able to see a shopping center, and in that shopping center is a bowling alley that I often bowl at, and there's a YMCA where I participate in a program to help build strength and endurance, which I'm going to need for this. Of course, timing's everything. I get in here, and of course the water's very low. It may not look like it here, but if you go up to where my house is, you can't see. All you got is mud on the bottom, so I can't get my 82-pound kayak doesn't go into it. So I figure I get this floating one. And this also lets me take the kayak, this Explorer, anywhere I want, which this is the first time out. And I was initially not that crazy about it from the feel, but put a little more air in it, and it seems to be a lot more stable now. So. Okay, so I'm back at the ramp. The kayak is all folded up, put away in its bag. I'm going to show you that here in just a second. And it was a pretty good day. It took about 15 minutes to inflate the kayak. It took me another 10 minutes to figure out how to get into it and get settled in it and all. But that was a one-time thing, I'm sure. I'll get used to it. And then also to deflate it, I would say it took longer. It took me probably 20 minutes, almost to a half hour to get it completely deflated, because you want to make it nice and flat when you put it into the bag, which you'll see here in the car in a second. Okay, so here it is, all packed up in the nice and neat in its bag in my 2006 Mustang, and everything looks good. Got the boat, the seats, pump, all of that stuff in that bag, which comes with the kayak. And then in the car also I have my paddle and my life vest. So everything is cool, everything's good, and this is the whole reason why I got this kayak, was to be able to go out pretty much anywhere I wanted to, as long as I can drive there.